Hello, everyone. I hope to God you only hear about this once and never again. Hope I'm the only person that has to say anything, but judging by the title, you read it, you know this is probably going to be one of a million, and I'm willing to take up the challenge. I will enjoy every ounce of bloodshed that encompasses each round, every punch thrown, every inch closer, every spitball of bile that I get to throw at this fucker here. Now, pardon my French, I'm going to be a lot angrier in this video than I normally am, but I have the right. A few people who, until a certain point, I hesitated to call my friends, and now I definitely do not call them friends, have made it clear I have no place in their forum. Well, do what you want, but I have screenshots. Always save the receipts, as they say, and that is a beautiful phrase. Yes, it is. We'll be discussing a few things. Dwarves. He has 20,000 subscribers, and you fucking bet they're all gonna come after me, saying, this is my fault, this is my problem, why am I even doing this, knowing that I'm gonna lose all my followers, and this is career suicide. I'm gonna get in trouble for even saying the word suicide without bleeping it. I really don't give a fuck. You know? I'm willing to sacrifice life and limb in the name of happiness and friendship. If I must be martyred, I will be martyred as a saint. Which is an interesting title considering I'm by no means a saint. I am not a good person by any means. But I have attempted to improve. I have admitted when I am wrong. And that is exactly what this person refuses to do. You might not have seen much of it if you're from his YouTube channel, but as you may know, he does like to make general fun of people who've done weird or objectionable things in certain communities. And that happens all the time. If it was just that, yeah, I see that all the time. That's not an issue. But there's more than that you don't know. When I was about 15, I joined a little place called Discord. For years, I've been very ashamed to talk about my activity on there on YouTube, given that I also think it would ruin my career. And I just don't care anymore. I have nothing to lose by doing this. I'm already suicidal. I've been since 10 years old. I'm not ashamed of that either. If I do kill myself, I will take every chance I get to get at this guy in the afterlife. If there is one. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? When I joined Discord, there was an artist I'd already been following since about 7 or 8 on another site called DeviantArt. Oh my god, DeviantArt. I remember that site? Oh, that fucking sucked when that was a thing. It's still a thing, actually, and there's a bunch of AI slop on there, too, now. Did you know that? Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of AI slop. It is fucking terrible. But it was a good site at one point. It was as pure as a site like DeviantArt could be. And there was an artist I still love, despite the things she has done to me without meaning to do so. Her name is Mandolin Glockins, and I'm actually not even 100% sure she's a girl because I've never asked. And I just think it'd be rude to ask. This artist is a huge inspiration to me, and has always been since I was about 8 or 9 years old. They always did transgender art, which inspired me to actually want to transition to a woman about 2 years ago when I started becoming more active in Discord. Now that I was, 20 years old and could be in pretty much all the communities that were not exclusive to underage people, I had a great time. But you have to remember it's Discord we're talking about. Discord and DeviantArt are like one of the worst places. I swear to God, the worst fucking places you can possibly meet a friend. Because it's not like there are no good people on those sites. They're just so hard to find in the swath of pedophiles. And I'm not ashamed to say it, there are pedophiles. I've had friends who turned out to be pedophiles, and I'm ashamed to have ever met them. I've met people who admitted they had like horrible shit on their phone, and when I confronted them about it, they just didn't say anything. And that was when I knew, if not before then, I should dump them immediately. I'm ashamed I did not just dump them right then and there upon learning they had porn of children. Drawn out children, not real children, but still. It's the same fucking thing. Really. They should both be illegal. Right? But I digress. Dwarves leads a double life. Dwarves leads a double life as Domeric or D-Wars or D-Man Dies. He goes by many names, and I'm very fucking sure he's gonna change it, probably to extort my name or some shit. Once once this word gets out. So basically, Domeric has used Discord to be the shittiest possible person I think he either could be or wants to be everywhere, but can't be everywhere because if people actually all knew he was that much of a shithead, they would all just click off. There'd be some people who were like, I'm a tough boy, I can take it. And they probably hate him a little bit, but they wouldn't mind it, you know. They think, oh, he's a shithead, but so am I. I'm fine with that. And you know what? I'm not gonna like tell you unsubscribe from him or block him. If anything, don't interact with him. Don't troll him, especially. But just don't bother with any of these people I'm gonna mention. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your life. It's worth my life because I've been affected, and this fucker deserves judgment. That leads to these lovely, lovely screenshots. Let me talk about them as much as possible so this cunt goes 6 feet under. The first and I think most important one, I mean, they're all linked together for me, but the first and most important one is actually one where he has taunted other people behind their backs for supposedly doing some reprehensible things in his eyes. And you know, I understand these people are a menace, or they're a bit of a nuisance. Okay, they do a little trolling, but I just don't think that's an excuse to still be talking about them so much, like months after you've closed your DeviantArt account for admittedly throwing a tantrum over certain people or certain things being deleted. That's a pretty fucking stupid reason to delete your account, buddy, but I digress. One thing getting deleted. Move the fuck on, my guy. Cope. Cope! In doing this, he talks about the requestables. He makes a caricature of what I assume to be a person from the Middle East. I don't really want to say because I think that's just as racist as this caricature is to assume that he's from the Middle East. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's from a different planet. But in my opinion, it looks like somebody, a racist caricature of somebody from the Middle East, and you're asking him about 9/11. Now, this is based on a real comment chain where it was actually somebody who we don't know what he looks like. So Domeric is making this vague and really racist and fucking cunty obsession with the idea that, I guess he's Muslim because who fucking cares? It's basically like an entire picture, almost an entire picture dedicated to how much he hates and wants to, I guess, taunt or maybe even torture people who say things that are the least bit reprehensible in his eyes. And I don't know about you, but that looks a little stupid. Now, if it's one thing that maybe he didn't want everyone to see this, but I know the reason. I already said it. Dwarves wants not everybody to see that he's that much of a shithead towards people, even if they may or may not deserve it. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter if they deserve it. If you're just fighting fire with fire, you're still a fucking shithead. Doesn't matter if they're shitheads, you're also a shithead, and you deserve to be caught in the crossfire as much as they do. Which might explain why he deleted his DeviantArt account because he realized he was that much of a bitch. The second picture. This is me trying to peacefully say something. I won't say protest because it wasn't really a protest. I was just saying something, and then he called me out for it. Now, that alone is not really a problem. Just him thinking it's my fault and not his fault. Not holding himself accountable. That's bad, but it's not the most terrible thing he's done in this picture. The worst thing is when he says something about a persecution complex. Now, you don't even know what's in my head, buddy. I've got schizophrenia, I've got bipolar, I've got GAD, I've got autism. I've shifted from like bipolar type 3 to type 1, type 3 being cyclothymia, not called type 3, but you know what I mean. I've got nearly every fucking neurological disorder under the sun. At least that's common. And you have the fucking balls to say, oh, it's something about a persecution complex. Like, go fuck yourself. It doesn't matter what I have. We're not talking about me. We're talking about something you have. You can see in the picture, all I'm doing is being like peaceful. I said okay. And then I was just like saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, because I didn't want to make him angrier. But he just doesn't give a shit. He keeps on firing because he likes toying with his prey like a predator. Oh no, I said predator. That must mean he likes children, huh? No. He might be an idiot, but he's not a criminal. And that follows up to the last screenshot where he openly says, because it's his server, he'll be as rude and confrontational as he pleases. Sorry, mate, you're still on Discord. You follow the Discord terms of service. You have to be nice, or they will fucking shoot you in the foot. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't give a fuck what you own. I don't give a fuck what you claim to be. I don't give a fuck who you like or hate. If you're not gonna be nice, I'm gonna call you the fuck out and I will come after you and your fucking family until you understand what you've done and you repent of your sin. Finally, the big reveal. I'm not alone in this situation. There is someone else who testified to me personally, and I will not say their name, who they are, or where they are from. But I will say that they share my opinion. Here it is. So, yeah, Dom is a bit of a hothead. A lot of people actually do agree with his takes, I hate to tell you, which makes actually holding them accountable difficult. I do personally feel that Dom is way too extreme. There was actually one occasion where they were in a private DM where they attempted to strong arm Drake, Dom's accomplice, not accessory, but accomplice, also known as Darth Obi-Wan 123 on DeviantArt. Again, do not harass him. As well as Mandolin Glockins, who is the artist I mentioned. Yes, she is almost equally guilty of holding herself back. And another person into banning a person who was supposedly being problematic. Then, when we refused on the grounds we couldn't ban them without a sufficient reason, they left the server in some sort of tantrum. But due to the nature of this, the fact that Dom is good friends with Drake and the fact that Dom could make a lot of noise for something to happen, it's difficult to do anything without making the situation explosively worse and more dramatic in another way. So you may be wondering, is that just your long-winded way of saying you know Dom is bad and you're letting him get away with it because it would be an inconvenience to deal with him? And frankly, yes. Though I will admit inconvenience does not do justice to just how messy this could end up being. Dom is a firecracker and not someone I would strictly say is a good person. You have a fair measure of agreement from me about Dom being a bit of a toxic character. But trust me when I say Mandy, or Mandolin, does not have the forceful personality required to do something about it. And Drake, well, convincing them that anything needs to be done at all would be a Sisyphean task. Dom expresses the opinions a lot of artists in this community have, which is funny because I thought he was a Doomtuber, just with way more intensity and vitriol. They completely lack tact, but because seeing Dom rage is cathartic for those individuals, they don't perceive it as toxic as it actually is. Well, we fucking do, Dom, and we want it to stop. Conclusion? I guess don't use Discord. You've heard that a million times already, but seriously, a testimony from me. A guy that has openly used Discord for 2.5 years and closed off somewhat for even more than that. Discord is fucking reprehensible. It is awful. Do not, under any circumstances, go there. If you think your life is going to be better, you're going to be more tuned in with your favorite celebrity people on YouTube or DeviantArt or any fucking thing, you will not have a better life. You will strain yourself through every single controversy. You will get blamed for things you never fucking did. I know, because I was. And I dealt with it, but it took forever, and every single day I thought about it. I think about it to this day, and every day I think about it is a waste of my time. Would you believe that Dom isn't even the worst person on Discord by far? Seriously. It is a hive mind of people out there who seriously think there is nothing wrong with Discord. And, some people say the same thing, like, They're gonna, and even while people are like jumping to alternative discords over the age verification crisis, so many of us are still staying on. But we shouldn't be. We shouldn't be on here if we know most of these communities are some of the most fucked up places on the whole earth. There is nothing left for you on Discord. Just find a better place. Talk to real people. It is so much better than this bullshit. Thank you.